Chris Robertshaw, Douglas East, MHK, joins us, and we're talking about Promenade. I got the Minister last night. I don't think you've actually had a chance to see that interview yet, but I kind of suggested that you go for a scalp, and you think that may be a little bit hard, but you have asked for his resignation in the past, I'm pretty sure, on this thing. I mean, you're not happy the way he's doing it.
No.
And I know you want to go back on a lot of things here.
Well, no, just very, very quickly, just to get to where we are today.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll park that and come back to it.
So we know it's been, starting the timeline, we know it's been an extraordinarily difficult year for an awful lot of people. The programme of the work itself hasn't at all worked out how it was expected. It's now months behind. It's been incredibly difficult for a serious number of traders and some of the residents down there as well. This prompted Claire and I, as the Environment and Infrastructure Policy Review Committee, to kick off an examination of where we were. Claire and I split the work between us. Claire tended to look more and talk more with the traders who were in dire difficulties, and I looked at the structure and organisation, and we welded it together. And brought it as a report to Tynwald on Wednesday, where some very, shall we say, robust things were said on the floor of Tynwald that needed to be said. However, I need to take you back to this. Last week, DOI, presumably in anticipation of the report, the critical report coming to Tynwald, and progressively recognising that things were not where they needed to be, brought a presentation to members in the Barul suite the previous week, last week, and that was a train crash. It was a presentation of how they were going to do the rest of the programme on these sort of painting by numbers maps that you've seen that them operate with, and extraordinarily and quite understandably, Department for Enterprise, in this case it was Rob Collister, reacted incredibly powerfully, because he said this is simply not good enough. The proposals brought forward by DOI. So DOI had brought forward a set of proposals which Department for Enterprise were not cognizant of in any way or shape or form. The reaction from DOI at that stage was that they collapsed the date lines. They effectively converted it almost within a day from being this is what we're going to do to, oh, well, actually this is a consultation document. Complete shambles. I have to say, though, that DOI was very clear that they understood things hadn't gone where they were supposed to go, that the development of the impact studies at the beginning were inadequate, and that actually they were doing impact studies inadequately.
Pardon?
Yes, yeah. Bear with me.
Right.
I effectively said to the minister, the DOI minister, Ray Harmer, I said, Ray, did you know when you entered into a decision on your part to concentrate what should have been a 3.5 to 4 year programme into a 2-year programme, were you aware that you weren't doing the impact studies the way you should have done? And he didn't answer the question. So we were dealing with these things on the floor of Tynwald. Perhaps it would be helpful if you read Hansard.
Yeah,
but then, as the committee, we had to examine why it was that we had a system of government where a minister could arbitrarily, without proper advice and guidance, and certainly contrary to what the officers were saying, because no officer at any stage in any department that we are aware of ever said we can do this scheme in 2 years. This was a political decision that emanated from the Minister of DOI. Now, the Minister of DOI should not be in a position to override advice or whatever simply because politically he wanted something done by the election. Shameful. However, to some degree you can blame the Minister, but, and you've heard me say this many, many times to the point of complete boredom, that the structure of government is wrong. This whole project was approached from DOI's perspective as being a road change, if you know what I mean, some road repairs or road development. In fact, it was a very expensive, very complex, difficult project to achieve in a very, very special place, the capital, the Promenade. And it was approached completely.
Well, Mr. Gorn had many attempts of trying to get something through. So
yes, but you must ask him, did he ever say that it was a good idea to do it in 2 years? So within weeks, it was almost months behind.
When Mr. Ray Harmer got in there, I'm just trying to pin back where we're trying to place the problem.
Ray Harmer made the decision to try and do it in 2 years, which they've now let go of.
So that's, I mean, I've heard there's a 6-month extension.
As things stand, yes.
So that could slide again, right?
Right, so anyway, that's for DOI to say. But it became very, very clear that this simply cannot go on, because the other side of the coin is the way that businesses have started to go broke, effectively.
Has it actually gone under? I mean, I don't think it's quite... I don't want to push people over the edge here by...
No, as yet, no. People are doing their absolute damnedest to keep going. Anyway, so go back to the painted by numbers projection that collapsed as a car crash almost straight away last week. That then translated into a presentation on the promenade to get feed in, which happened last night.
Yes.
Okay. You know that I was there because you popped down as well.
Yeah.
I listened very, very carefully, as did others, to what everybody was saying. Do you know, even last night, the elements doing the promenade at the beginning of the evening were not even, as it were, working in conjunction with each other in an appropriate way. One person came up to me and said, for example, DOI saying one thing, MU saying another. So here we come to the nub of it now. There needs to be a massive improvement on the coordination of the project, and there has to be some principles adopted which allow the next year before us to go an awful lot better.
Have you got answers though? Have you got the fixes for this? I mean, it's okay just saying it's not going well, but how do you get out of it?
That's the point, because it's no good just criticising.
Exactly.
It is such a serious matter. There has to be a solution.
And have you that?
So during the evening, it became clear to me that what we needed effectively was a code of practice, a code of conduct to be signed up by everybody, and that had to address a number of principles which everybody had to sign up to. And then after that, there needed to be an authority or a discipline that applied that code of practice to everybody in a way that they would have to work to, because what we've had is a whole disparate group of people trying to do their best, but no coordination, no powerful project leadership.
So what's the fix? Someone that knows what they're doing, in your view? I mean,
well, what we need to do is, and Claire and I, that's my colleague down there.
Yeah, Claire Barber.
We're going to try to pull together the first principles of this code of practice that we want people to sign up to. And let's look at one or two of the key points about the code of practice as we see it. And that is, we are going to have to say next year the horse trams should not run. That's number one.
Yeah, that was a very interesting one, that the priority was given so much. I mean, there's a lot of feedback on that.
Bear with me, because I've quite a lot to get through.
I'm trying to keep you moving over.
Secondly, that then allows us to have 3 carriageways. Principle number to work on, or to...
Do you think that will go? Do you think people will buy into not having horse trams?
Well, if the component parts of the project will not sign up to a code of practice and then adhere to it, then somebody very quickly has got to come up with an alternative that they must all sign up to and be seen to be working to, and have somebody authoritative who's going to on a daily basis say, you are not complying with the code of practice, stop what you're doing. It's got to be that discipline, and it's nowhere remotely near that at the moment, because there is nobody actually in charge. I know that sounds crazy, but there isn't. You've got the contractors working with DOI against the contract. You've got MU coming in. You've got other elements coming in, and they're not working to a plan, if you see what I mean. So the second thing that needs to happen, the second principle, is that there's got to be an understanding that major works cannot go on the landside carriageway and pavement during the height of the season, so that people can access the businesses during the summer, and hotels, and we get away from
this. All sounds very logical.
Well, it is logical, Paul. I mean, that it hasn't happened is absolutely extraordinary. And then
keep going.
Then there's a number of other issues which will become first principles, and then that has to be supported by increasing elements of nuances as we sense test this this concept with the interested parties who are involved, so that everybody can build into this code of this practice code,
okay.
and then that then needs to be linked to effectively a suite of options which traders who are in real difficulties can opt into. Now that
okay, just I'm going to hold it there. Have a part two. Okay, so there's lots more to go. We'll continue this in part two.